yesterday. Well, I kind of did. It was a very short video. Primarily due to the fact that I forgot the GoPro when I ended up going over to my mom's house to have breakfast, and then ended up playing ended up playing games with my sister. And then today, Super Bowl, so going somewhere new today. None of that really matters to any of you, though, does it? Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Not really. I don't know. You've probably come to watch these videos because you're looking for something new, but I don't know. I like sharing the things that I want to share things about. So that's what I'm talking about today. And I wanted to say that my 2 years in sales, this is why I'm going back to sales. I love sales, even though I understand that some people don't like salespeople. But me personally, dude, I really like sales. I really enjoy selling. I really love getting to talk with people and make a good amount of money in the process when I do that. Because when I was doing sales, prior to taking like the year off, not even a year, it was 16 months. Taking 16 months off of like official work, which has been absolutely amazing. And it only cost me $53,000 to be able to do that. Which to me, that's pretty impressive. 53 grand for 16 months. I did a lot of free stuff. Drove around a lot. Didn't save anything. Or buy clothes. Just food, rent, monthly subscription fees that I had to pay for rent. Other than that, that's all it was. It's pretty impressive to me, if I'm being honest with you. But in regards to the sales thing, 99% increase from 2021 to 2023. 99% increase in income. Because when I got into sales, it wasn't even my first full year in 2021. I only worked like 3 months out of 2021. So like my first full year in sales, I didn't even have, like, I did from like January to December. I only really had one January to December, but like September to September was my initial sales numbers. 44,000-ish or so in 2021, 74,000 2022, 94,000 2023. To me, in 2023, I left in October, so I didn't even get paid for November or December. So it probably would have been an additional, probably add on an additional 7, I'd say 7 to 10 grand onto that. So it's probably 105 to 110 in 2023 for the income if I would have stayed for the remaining 2 months out of the year. Because I did miss those 2 months, so I ended up getting that commission or the base pay from that. But then when I was working in the video world, doing video work, I started out at 17,000, which, I mean, that was 17,000 was like the internship, so I wasn't like an official full-time employee. When I got the full-time position, I kind of negotiated a little bit. I kind of did it. I remember I was like, he was like, we can offer you 34 or something, and I was like, can we just make it an even this or so? He's like, yeah. I probably could have gone up even higher, but I didn't. So I believe, if I remember correctly, my first year doing like the video work, it was like 35, and then it went up to like 37 or something along those lines. And then I think it finally got up to like 40 or something along those lines. And that was the three-ish years, 3 to 4 years working in video, where I didn't make more than like $42,000 a year. And as soon as I get into sales, it's like I said, I went from making 40,000, 42,000-ish or so, all the way up to 95,000 in like a 2-year time frame. Like, I think I was just upset at myself that I didn't go into sales sooner. And I was like, oh, I'll try the video work, I'll try to do YouTube. So I really did want to, and I still do. Like, I'm doing YouTube right now, technically. Like, technically I am doing YouTube right now. I might not be getting paid for it. That's okay. I make the videos and I talk about the things I want to talk about. This is more about me documenting the things I want to document. I understand that there's different ways to go about it, but I don't think that that's me. Because it more made me miserable when I was doing that type of stuff. Part of me just like talking about the things I want to talk about, sharing the ideas that I want to share. I don't know, everybody online is making it seem like, oh, it's so bad to have a 9-to-5 job, but I don't know, man. I think it's good to have one, while also still like pursuing hobbies, creative endeavors, and sharing what you can share online in the ways that you want to, because I've been able to connect with a lot of amazing people making the videos as well. So I figure I can keep making the videos, I can keep sharing my ideas and my thoughts, and see where it goes from there, and then get back into sales and get my income back up to where it was beforehand. Maybe move as well. I was thinking about that as well. I was like, maybe moving into a different apartment for the time being, maybe something that's a little bit cheaper, just because my rent has increased. It has increased over the years of me living in the place that I'm in right now, and then it'll just increase again next year. Whereas like they get new people in, which to me that's just is kind of dumb. Like they'll get new people in and they'll charge the initial rate that I paid in the very first year. I'm like, that doesn't make really much sense to me, but whatever, so be it. So figure, see where this goes, and then I'd rather be like move closer to the mountains. It's kind of my idea, my perspective. Those places are a little bit further from like where the work would be, but I'm like, I'd like to be able to kind of go out in the mountains on a weekend or something along those lines and kick it. And then I remember, I'm like, oh, but then I don't want to have to go to a different gym and then have to rebuild up all those relationships again. I'm like, this is the fucking hard part of having to, like, when you move, it's like it's so much extra effort and work having to then build those things back up, and that takes time, and then you have to see the same people, and then you have to connect with the people, and then yada yada yada, one thing after another. But like for me, whenever I do leave a place, if I ever go back, like people welcome me back with open arms, which that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, no, these are just like things that I've been kind of thinking about. The sales side of things, like, just makes me so much more than other income sources have made me beforehand. Maybe it's because I have the team camaraderie. It's like I could always go out and I could ask people like, well, how'd you close this deal? Like, what was the thing that you did to make this work? And then I just go do that said thing. Whereas like with YouTube videos and content, whenever I'd ask people like, hey, well, how'd you make this video go viral? Or like, how'd this video get so many views? And people are like, I don't know, I just posted it. And I'm just like, what do you mean you just posted it? Like, how, you have 1 million views in this, like, what'd you do? And it's just like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. Everybody says it's like, oh, it's because I added value. It's like, okay, so then do it again. And then they can't do it again. So I'm like, clearly you don't know how you actually got the 1 million views. Like, you just got the views to get the views or whatever it is. Even though, like, I have had videos myself as well, too, that get a couple 1,000 views. I'm like, oh, hey, that was fun. That was exciting. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to make that video again. So then I go make something else. I understand that that's probably not the best way to go about creating content and brands and things like that, but I also like just sharing the things that I like to share. Like when I look at the different numbers on the sales side of things, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, this is how I got good at sales, or these are the numbers that I had when I was doing sales. Then I also want to talk about like the metaphysical stuff, or like the psychology stuff, or relationship stuff, or friendship stuff, or do outdoorsy things. I just have so many different things. I like to share a bit more as well as time goes on. So at least the plan. That's why I figure, like, if I go back, well, when I go back, because I am going back, getting back in the sales world and then having the income to have my money work for me instead of me working for my money. I understand that I'm going to have to work for my money before I can have my money work for me. That was kind of one of the little mishaps or mistakes that I maybe made, leaving the job without having the income or a certain income coming in each and every single month. Maybe not the smartest idea, but then again, I'm like, well, let's see how fast I can earn all of that back. So I'm just kind of taking things day by day right now, trying to figure things out in the best way that I know how. I don't know if I need to follow back up with the job that gave me the offer. Just be like, hey, just curious to see, like, is there anything else they need from me in the meantime? Because it was like 30 days out before I start working. I also do have another interview that I want more because it pays more right off the rip. because their OTE is way higher. And if the OTE, what they're predicting for the OTE, then in all likelihood, you know what that means? That means that I can have a higher, yes, a higher, so the OTE is like the average, or at least I believe it is. I'm probably gonna have to check that. OTE is on-time earnings as well. It's base plus commission. The crazy part too about like commission in sales, dude, is you take 42% for taxes when it comes down to commission. So like if I get a commission check for $10,000 or something like that, and some of you are gonna be like, well, that's a good amount of money to like to be having. And I'm like, it is, and I'm grateful for it. I really am. Because I guess like having $6,000 is better than having like no dollars. So that doesn't make sense, but it's still just like, dude, 42% on a commission check, that's just insane, bro. Like that's just, it's just insane to me. Like 42%. So if I close $10,000 worth of business, then you know what that means? That means that I get $6,000, which $6,000 is great. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Like I love, like that's fantastic. It's wonderful, and I'm grateful for that. I'm just like 42% because like normal base salaries don't get charged like have that much. I believe it's like 32% or something like that, which is still an outrageous sum of money that you have to pay on taxes. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. But then again, when I did have to pay that much, I did end up getting like 3 years back or so in my tax return the year previous. So I guess it's not all that bad of a thing. Yeah, I like numbers, as maybe you can tell, because I'm able to kind of like rattle these numbers off in the way that, like, I don't have them in front of me, but like I was just looking at them and I'm like, oh yeah, these are the numbers that I made. So yeah, but got one. See how things go for the rest of the time, and then gonna go bold today and see what happens from there. But other than that, I like to do more vlog style things, but not have me have to be the one that's doing the filming all the time. I understand that it's easier for me to do that, but I want to just be in the moment, and I'd rather just have somebody film me being in the moment. Just easier that way. So we'll see. But other than that, I think that's about it. So have a good rest of your day. Talk to you tomorrow.